Howdy folks, welcome back to another Bad 66 Chevelle video here. And apologize for this video being kind of dark. But anyway, I wanted to get this up because I just finally finished up my C10 here. And like I said, I'm sorry it's kind of dark, but I really wanted to get this up. But finally got it done. Hopefully y'all can maybe see a little bit of it. I can see the front end a little bit. Anyway, well, at least y'all can see the front end. Anyway, I got it finally fixed now. So I got our good used control arm back on, and I'm gonna make a better video in the daylight, but I just want to get this thing up here. Hope y'all can at least see where I got it back together here. Still got to put the trim ring on and put our center cap back on, but I'm just so glad this thing's done because it's been a long process. I still got to put our shock on our driver's side. I went ahead and ordered everything off Rock Auto, and I got a brand new shock on the passenger side, of course. There we go. But I got all that put on now. Got our brakes bled, and so everything hopefully should be okay now. I've went ahead, took it up down the road. Stops good, so I think we're good to go. I put on new tie rods and everything on there. I gotta get a little clear there. But got all new upper ball joint, new lower ball joint, inner and outer tie rods, new tie rod sleeve. Our spring I reused. That wasn't that old anyway. That's been replaced about 3 years ago. So I reused our spring, our bushing there, and I just left that alone because it was in good shape. Really wasn't nothing wrong with it. And made sure I lined up our control arm shaft on them pins up in there. A lot of y'all, if y'all know what I'm talking about, made sure I got that done right. And checked everything on this side over here. All that looks good. So I think what happened, like I said, is I think that fender bender is what finished it. And then I hauled gravel with it a couple weeks after. Not that fender bender, but a couple weeks prior to that breaking, and that's probably what did it there. But anyway, that's where we're at. Show y'all all the parts here, and I hope y'all do at least get a little something out of this video. Apologize it's dark, but I just literally finished it up. So that's all our parts here. It's our old shock, our old control arm. Of course, the brake right back here. That's where it broke. But that's our old ball joint. I had to press our old ball joint out of our used control arm. I'm saying quotations right there. Our upper ball joint was still tight, but I went ahead and while I was in there, I replaced it anyway. Now the ball joint that was in our used control arm, as you can see, is bad. But anyway. Yeah, y'all can kind of see that. I can take my finger and move it, if that tells you anything. So that was bad, so I had to replace that. Our shock was actually still good. The only reason I really replaced it is it got a little screwed up there, but it actually still works. And I had to pull that truck had a sway bar on it, so I just pulled that off and bolted it. So, because we're not going to use that. But these little pins here in this shaft here, there's little pins that it has to bolt up into, and they line up with that. So you want to make sure and line that up. But that control arm shaft is actually, the actual shaft is still good, but the control arm itself is junk. But got all that pulled off, and our tie rods were still tight too. But I just replaced all that because I didn't know if it twisted anything. I mean, I was just backing the truck literally out of the driveway on my new property, and it broke on me. So I think it was part of that was that fender bender that I got into. Go back in the videos and y'all see what I'm talking about on that. And I think hauling the gravel about a month and a half ago, something like that. I was hauling gravel to my property here, and I think that just that weight, it really wasn't overloaded, but I think just in general the weight is what kind of finished it off because it's put more stress on it, which either way, I'm just glad it's fixed. So we got our wheel back on, and I'm just glad now it's it's kind of coming together now. So hopefully right now everything's going to be good. I made a video on our F-150, and gosh, this truck's sitting here in this spot for about, oh, it's probably been down for about 2 months. And my Ford, it's been down, oh shoot, ever since I've had it, really. I've only been able to drive that truck probably a very slim handful of times. And I say that because it's quite literal with it. But our F-150, it's, you know, it's going to survive. It had a little minor fire, but, you know, it's going to be okay. I got to straighten our grill out a little bit where I pushed it back, but just one of them things. But so we got our F-150 straightened out. I had to put a fuel pump on it. Our fuel pump was leaking. It was leaking quite bad. I went ahead and replaced that on another fire starting. And I had to replace her on these Fords here. I don't know if y'all Ford guys out there or girls know this, but you have to have your oil pressure sensor down there beside your fuel pump. That's got to be hooked up, otherwise it won't fire. So I learned that kind of quick. I kind of figured that, but these Fords, the way they're wired, they're kind of weird. So I got to get another end like this one here. It's just a 90, but they just pull right off. Same thing as the temperature, but I need to get one for my oil pressure, but they just press right on there. So I think you could still get them reproduction, but it ended up burning that wire up. I just, you know, temporarily fixed it for now, so that's got to be wired up, otherwise it won't get no fire and the motor won't start. It'll crank, but it won't start. And then I had to replace her solenoid as well, and because when I went to go and start it, our starter kept spinning, so I tapped it a couple times. That didn't work. I put a different solenoid that I had in the back of my truck for probably 5-6 years, threw that on there. That ended up being burned up too, so I don't know why I kept it, but I guess I thought it was good or it was bad and I forgot about it and never replaced it. But I think I actually come off one of my 58 or 59 Etzels back in the past if you look at my videos. But anyway, so I put this new one on here. I've had this for quite a while. This is a brand new one. And of course it starts fine now, but the only other issue now is we still got to jump it, which I don't like that. But the reason we still got to jump it is the fire got our neutral safety switch, so we lost reverse lights and we lost our neutral safety switch. So I'll have to order that and replace that. That's about $30, and hopefully replace that, and then we'll be able to, you know, start it like normal. Because right now you just turn the key and nothing will happen. It'll turn on, but it won't crank over. So we'll have to look into that. But that ain't no big deal. It's really most of the wiring that really screwed up was this one wire that goes to our oil pressure sending unit. And then it got all our plug wires pretty much. And then our starter, our positive wire, our ground wire. It got the one wire to our alternator, which I still got to replace that. I got to trim this other one up a little bit. And then our starter still worked, but I went ahead and replaced it, not because of the fire. That was just half of it. The other half I replaced it. It had so much play in the teeth that you could wiggle that thing back and forth, and it kind of started kind of rough. So I went ahead and replaced that as well. I mean, our oil looks good. I don't see any evidence of any, you know, kind of oil, water or anything in it. So I'm going to really call it good for the most part. So eventually we'll move on to the next step on this truck. And the next step is going to be, we'll finish up our wiring here, and then I'm going to order a new cam. And we'll get a new timing set for it, new cam, new lifters. And then we'll go through our push rods. We'll check all them out, which when I had it all apart, they looked okay. But I'm going to throw a new cam and lifters in it, because our next problem now is I'm sure that a couple of our lobes are, you know, probably either flat or about getting ready to go flat, because I know it runs a lot better than what it did, but it's still not quite there. I mean, it really needs to be pulled out and bored out, but this motor being already 30 over, you know, it's just not worth it. And these cylinder walls, when I had it apart, they're really, really thin. So if I could throw a new cam in it, and you know, I'm going to squeeze whatever life I can get out of it, because you can take a worn out motor. You can still restore a lot of the power back. But, you know, it still won't be like a brand new motor, but, you know, we'll get a little more life out of it. But that's where we're at on this. But, so I got to get a neutral safety switch, put that on here, which that really, I mean, that's really didn't matter anyway, because this ain't gonna hurt to replace that. And then our starter was already bad. Most of the stuff that it burned up really didn't matter anyway, because most of it was bad anyway. But that's where we're at on our Ford. I still got to hook our PCV back up because that's still unhooked, and I got the fitting to put her in her intake spacer there, and then hopefully be one step closer. But apologize this video being dark here. At least y'all can hear my voice. That's the main thing. But I'm just tickled to death now. I'm just so glad I got this C10 finally straightened out now for the most part. Hopefully straightened out. And my buddy has got a front clip. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a little bit better. The hood's definitely better than this hood. So, but I'm not sure it's off of 71 or 72, somewhere in that area. I'm not sure if the radiator supports are the same as the 69s, because I want to keep this truck a 69. I like that grill better. But I'm hoping he'll give me that. But the bad part about it is the whole front clip is, the driver's side fender is screwed up too, so I'm going to have to still find a fender for it. But he said he's got the whole front clip, and the hood hinges are way better, so I can definitely use them on here, because my one hood hinge on the passenger side here is basically shot and broke off completely. But so hopefully we'll get that, and because this whole front clip on this truck is just, it's done. I mean, the hood is savable, but everything else, the hood and maybe this fender, but it's about done, because the inner fenders are rotted out. The radiator support is it's savable, but this fender's trashed. But it'd be nice to clean it up and put a good front clip on it. I'm gonna keep it a 69 because that's the way it came from the factory, and I don't want to change that. And I like this particular grill style better, and hopefully we'll get her straightened out a little bit more. And he said he's got a passenger side door, because this door on this truck, I replaced it, and we'll call it a better door for a little better door. It's really not, but you know, it's all rotted on pieces. I can take my hand and push it back. But he's got a door that's a little bit better than this one, so hopefully, we'll just keep replacing this door here till we finally get a good one. But that one that he's got is a way better than that one. That one's got a little bit in the corner, but it's not all rotted out where you can take your hand and pull it, back and forth. But so hopefully we'll see if we can't get a little better front clip on this truck and get a little better passenger side door for it, and get a little more straightened out. And hopefully after that here soon, I'm gonna start looking around for a four-wheel drive frame. But right now, just my concentration is I want to get on my property first, get on my new property, and get living down here, and then I want to get back on these projects, because I want to get back on it. But I had to get all this stuff fixed really so that I can move, because I need all these trucks going, because I gotta have them so I can move. Not that I have a lot of stuff to move, but I really need them, and that's really critical right now. And not just for moving either, but to get back and forth to work, because I do work full-time as well. But that's where we're at here, so hopefully we'll get her, see if we can scrounge up a little better front clip for it, and that'll help getting that door straightened out. And at least that'll eliminate, because most of the rust, the frame is perfect on this truck. The frame ain't bad at all. The frame is perfect. And the bed is, it's typical rust, but the front clip on this thing, I mean, it don't look that bad, but it's shot. I mean, I did this. It's a shame, but the fender was rotted out anyway. All you gotta do is go back in my videos and look. But the radiator support is savable. But anyway, this is just a little update video here. I hope y'all enjoy it, and just figured I'd let y'all know that everything's gonna be good. Starting slowly getting back in a little better shape here. But thank God we got 2 trucks going now, and now that we got that going, so now we'll have our Etzel, we'll have our Durango, and then we'll have our C10, and we'll have our F-150. So now, we'll slowly take in, we'll get everything back together here. And because eventually I want to get on the Chevelle and figure out something about that. Either, I'm going to keep that for parts, or either I'm gonna just take it and bite the bullet and try and straighten it out. But that body is so out of whack on that car, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'd really like just to find a better 2-door hardtop, but not sure on that one yet. But yeah, we can start and get it all straightened out, and I can move on to my, because I got my white F-150. I still got that, and that's the one I'm building a little mile 302 for. Put aluminum heads and all on it, and we're trying to move forward here, and it's gonna be so much better once I get down on my new property here. I'm really excited, but hopefully y'all can kind of see my lights a little bit. I've been putting lights up like crazy down here, and it's so pitch dark. Literally what you're seeing on that screen is almost about as dark as it is in person. But I got some solar lights in the ground through there, but at least if y'all might not be able to see anything, but I hope y'all at least enjoy the audio anyway. I see a few things, but see, I've been putting some lights up. So there's our one. There it is. I love those. I wish I would have got more of them, but you can't get them. I bought them up there at Walmart, and I can't stand Walmart, but they happen to have them things up there for $10 a pop. So I was like, well, shoot, I got a couple of them, put them up. And I actually like them because they're like a walkway light, and when you walk up to them like that, they actually get brighter. It's actually quite nice. So it's gonna get, there's our next one there. It's gonna get really bright here in a second. Back forward. There it is. Yeah, it's really bright. Really like them. Come back here. It's brighter in person, but I decided just to put them up in the trees, so at least that way we'll have something, This is actually my driveway I'm walking in right now. I created all this. I cut a lot of trees down and made this, so it's a lot of work. It took about a month just to do all this. And my driveway is 376 foot. So if that gives you an idea, that's a lot of trees. It's 376 foot end to end, and shaped kind of like the letter C. And it's about, typical width of a driveway. I'm not sure what the standard width is, but I'll just say it's, 10 to 15 foot wide. In some places it's like 20 foot wide. And that's not because I cut it that wide. It's just